still. I mean, there's music in the background, but I can hear you, so it's okay.
I don't think there's a mic on these.
Oh, they just gave you that. They're just earbuds.
Okay, we
No,
are live.
I can hear you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Okay, I'm just gonna check our settings.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you get to Virginia?
This morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I had I usually take a 7 a.m. train.
That's pretty
So
funny. Okay. Okay.
let's
Let me
see.
just fix. I think our settings are okay, actually, this time.
All right.
Um, so, you know what? Hold on 1 second.
Oh, okay.
What's the matter? Am
The
I
music.
missing?
No, it's just the
You hear the music?
Yeah.
Oh. Is it loud?
You know, when you're talking, it's I don't hear it. And I'm just
Okay.
wondering if when I'm talking, well, I think when I'm talking, it'll cancel it out too.
Okay.
So,
All
so is
right.
it this? So
Okay.
it says we're live right now.
Yes, but I have to just fix the settings. Okay. Okay. Now we're good.
All right.
Okay. All right. All right. So, how long are you in Virginia for?
Until Thursday.
Till Thursday.
Yeah. So my usual trip. Easy trip. Very easy trip. So happy to be here.
Okay.
So, I mean, but it's not as exciting as where you happen to be right now.
Yes, I am in beautiful, sunny Jamaica. I'm gonna see if you can see the sun through here. Like, can you see?
Yes, yes. And I hear birds.
Oh, yes, it's very beautiful. Very
Oh,
beautiful.
wow.
And I'm
Yes.
here with my sister and her children, and so it's really fun.
That's good. Is your mom there too?
My mom, yes.
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 Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so it's really fun.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah, because my kids are older, so
Mm-hmm.
I mean we still go away and we still have a lot of fun, but it's it's nice to go away with do other things like we used to.
Teenagers, and yeah, you're there with teenagers now, so that's it. That's a different kind of experience. So
Okay.
today,
Yes, so let's talk. What are we going to talk about today?
we are tuning in to letting go.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about today. What it is to let go, so you can make room. I grew up in, as I've said many times, in church, and there's a saying that you let go to let God, and so I know that's something that's near and dear to your heart and to mine, based on our own experiences.
Yeah.
Now,
And
you said you read
okay.
something recently.
Yes, I'm reading a book called Beliefs, and it's really interesting. And what it says is that in order to create new beliefs, we have to let go of old beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's about a really big thing. Like you said, sometimes it's let go and let go.
Mm-hmm.
And then other times it could be something like, for instance, when I worked in banking, I had to let go of the idea that all I could do was banking,
Mm-hmm.
right? I had to let go of the idea that I was successful in that, but that wasn't going to be the only thing that I could do.
Right.
And if I didn't let go of that, I would have never been able to go back to school. I would have never been able to change the things in my life that I changed because
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have been able to let go of the idea that all I could do was banking.
Right.
You
Right.
know, so sometimes it's when we say let go and let God, it could be because we have no control. Like something happens that breaks our heart or hurts so much
Mm-hmm.
that we know it's bigger than us. And we have to let that go because we can't move on
Mm-hmm.
unless we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And then other times we have to let go of beliefs about ourselves in order to create new ones.
I agree with you on that. It's very
Oh,
important.
my sister,
Hi.
she's right in our room.
Ah. Hi,
Yes,
Lisa.
we're having a. I'll tell you this. You know, we have to do things like this in our life. Sometimes we just have to say, we're going away, we're going to celebrate
Mm-hmm.
what we have
Mm-hmm.
and do it. I mean, we went snorkeling today for the first time with her children, my
Uh-huh.
niece, my nephews. It's just so wonderful to make memories like that, you know?
And
All right.
even that, we
So,
have to let go of. I mean, we can think of hundreds of things. We have to let go of our schedules. We have to let go of our fears. We have to let go of the way things have always been. To say,
yes.
well, I only take vacation with my family, or I
Yeah.
only do this or I only do that. We have to let go of our comfort zone and
Yes. I
step
mean,
out. Yeah.
absolutely. And that you are so right because when my sister was first talking about doing this trip, you know what was
Hmm.
in my mind, right? Well, I have to go to Costa Rica with the John Maxwell team, and then I'm doing a family vacation. And how am I going to tell? I do work at the crisis center. How am I
Hmm.
going to tell them that I'm taking another vacation?
Yes.
So you're so right. It
Hmm.
means that you have to let go of the things that you think have to be a certain way.
Yeah.
I
Now
love that. I love that.
we're not talking about irresponsibility. I mean, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about all of a sudden you just decide you're just not going to obey the law. I let go of the law. It's not that. It's like, I've decided I want to drive on the other side of the street, so I let go of that. But I mean, that's not what we're talking about. But we are talking about those things that limit you. I mean, imagine you would not have had this wonderful experience to be able to travel with your mom, and
Yes.
it's it, it's just, and we do this so often and quite often without even spending time. We do it unconsciously. Where
Yeah.
someone asks you about something and immediately you jump to no.
Yes.
And it's just that limiting belief zips in there so fast, and contours your mouth and makes you say that word. And it's just letting go of those beliefs, letting go of that no is what we've got to do.
And right, we sometimes say no without thinking, or
Mhm.
we can't imagine how we'll make this happen. You
Mhm.
know, but Rhea, a long, long, long time ago, people thought the world was flat.
Mhm. There's some people
They
who still do.
Oh, okay. Well, for those of you that think the world is flat, But you know what? They did think that because they didn't know better. They didn't know, they didn't
Right.
have the right information, you know,
Hmm.
and there's so much that we could have in our lives if we could let go and maybe think, why can't we have it?
Hmm.
How could we have it? What could we do to get it?
Hmm. Yeah, and it is what you're talking about is letting our imagination, just opening up that door so that your imagination it blooms, and you come up with new ideas, you come up with a different perspective, new destinations. Otherwise, you'll be. We know people. We both know people, I'm sure, who only take. I'm stuck on vacations because I'm planning one too, but who only take vacations to a certain spot. You know, we only go this place once a year, these same 2 weeks, and this is our spot, and that's the only place we go.
Right.
But imagine how life opens up for you when you experience a new environment, a new culture. You learn more about yourself. You learn that you a lot of times you learn that you're stronger than you thought you were.
Yes.
It really means a lot to be able to not to say no and to open up your imagination and let it bloom.
Right.
Is really
And
important.
sometimes it means not answering so quickly, right?
Yes.
Because like you said before, sometimes we answer from our subconscious mind. We only know what we've done. We only know as much as our past lets us know, right?
Hmm.
So if I thought, Laura, you can't do anything else. I mean, you're 32, you've been in banking all this time. That's really all you're good at. If you think that way, you'll stay in where you are. And there was
Right.
nothing wrong with it where I was. I mean, there really wasn't. I thought I was very happy at the time, but I would have never tried something new if I didn't have a more open mind.
Yes.
Look
Yeah.
who's joining us, Rhea.
Hi, Judy. How are you?
Judy, my friend, I miss
Hello.
you. Yes, Judy is a John Maxwell coach and speaker and trainer, and she's amazing. And Rhea, tell everybody where she's from.
And she is from the island of Trinidad, and where they have good roti. And I have to say, Judy and I are also coaching partners. So we talk once a week. And I forgot to mention to her yesterday that my husband had a hankering for roti. The other day, he found this roti shop and went out and bought all of this roti. Like, are we having a party? He had so much. But my husband loves roti, so I mentioned to him that I had a new coaching partner from Trinidad. Oh, ask her about roti. But hi, Judy. Thank you for joining us. We
so,
were. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
so just getting back to that again is, have there been a time in your life that you had to let go of everything you knew to try something different?
Mm. Not necessarily everything I knew, but I mean, there were a couple of things. I mean, I wanted to I wanted to live in New York. That was what I really wanted, and it didn't make sense to everyone else. I mean, actually, growing up, I remember announcing to my dad that I wanted to live in New York after watching. I used to watch That Girl with
Oh
Marlo
yeah,
Thomas. I
Marlo
love that
Thomas.
show. And I wanted to live in New York. And I remember my dad saying, like, over my dead body. And so I didn't live in New York. And I was from a small town. I was from a very, very, very small town. And and so the idea of moving from a small town where we had one traffic light that blinked until I was in the 10th grade. before it became just a regular traffic signal, a time signal. So it was amber on one side, red on the other side. That was what I was used to, and so to make this kind of an announcement that not only do I want to live in a city, I don't want to live in Detroit. I don't want to live in Chicago. I want to live in New York. That just was not within his comfort zone.
Mhm.
So as life went on, I ended up moving to different cities and eventually got to New York, and that was my dream. That's what I wanted, and I knew that it was something that I could do. I had no idea how wild and crazy it would be, but I love it, and I believe that I was born to live where I live. Now, I don't believe
Mhm.
I was born to retire where I live, but I do believe I was born to live there. So that was
Yeah.
that was something that I had to do. That was really it required imagination. It was outside of my comfort zone. I had to give up. Yeah, I had to give up a car. I mean, I had to give. It was a completely different lifestyle. And
Right.
the idea of living I didn't live in a house. All of a sudden, I lived in an apartment now. That that was very different, but I'm glad I did it. I would not have met my husband if I had not moved to New York. So
Right. You
yeah.
see, it's
Mhm.
so. And now you can think, like, some people would look at that and say, well, when you were younger, you wanted to go to New York because you didn't know any better,
Mhm.
right? Sometimes people will say that about young people. Well, they just, they think they could do anything because they don't know any better.
Mhm.
And then something happens when we get older and we feel just constricted and restricted, and our thoughts think that we can't do so many things. Is it really because they don't know any better, or is it just because they have a belief that they can do whatever they want and they will make it work?
Mhm.
And then as we grow older, those beliefs constrict us where we think we can't do that,
Mhm. Yeah.
And so letting go of these thoughts that just don't serve us. They limit us, they restrict us, they do everything but propel us
Mhm.
into greatness, into like living a good life, a ridiculously amazing
A
life.
ridiculously amazing life. That
And
is
we're not talking, also I want to be clear that we're not talking about money when we say that.
no, no. We're talking about. I don't want to say we're talking about everything, but we're talking about what feeds us and what your dream happens to be. So and we don't all have the same dream. We don't all have the same desire. There are plenty of people whose dreams have nothing to do with money. Now, there are lots of people who have a dream and the money comes as they pursue their dream.
Yes.
But we're not talking about finances. We're talking about fulfillment and
Right.
uh,
and
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 and i
life.
like I like that you said that, because that is true. It's amazing how sometimes when people live out the life that they were intended to live,
Mhm.
money might go with that
Mhm.
because you're not restricted anymore. And so the vibe that you're putting out in the world is abundance.
Yes.
And it changes things when we can think in the way of abundance.
Yes.
It opens our vibration up to things that we weren't getting before,
I love that. I love that.
you know. So Judy said yes. Your husband's right.
The best roti is from Trinidad. Oh,
Well, we'll have to see about that, won't we?
oh yeah, I know that to be true. So
Yeah.
yes, and limitations. We we talk about letting go of some very specific things, but also letting go of a particular state of being, like tension I mentioned earlier. Letting go of tension, opening ourselves up to meditation, opening ourselves up to breathing, and improving our well-being. I mean, those things that are components of that. Understanding when opening ourselves up to listening to our own bodies, uh, speaking our own voices. And there was a time when we were told that, and I say we, actually I mean more women, that you didn't have a voice or were treated like we didn't have a voice, uh, and our opinion did not matter. And it's important to be able to speak and speak out and letting go of limitations. It, even as much as our parents loved us, they grew up at a different time. So coming into your own with parents who will tell you, and this is familiar to you, you don't need to do that. What you need to do is get a husband. Uh, you don't need to go to college. What you need to do is get married. So make sure that you learn learn how to cook, and you'll get a man. Now the funny thing about that is, I was the best cook, and I was the single one. Everyone else, all of my friends that were married, I cooked better than they did. I was the single one. What was going on?
See, there you go. There you go. You just answered that,
I
right?
blew that theory out of the
It's
water.
but that's the thing. Like we grow up with the best our parents can do,
Hmm.
and then life happens with us, and sometimes we mess up too. But if everybody did the very best they could,
Yes.
right? Then we would just it would work. But sometimes we do what we think we know because
Yes.
that's all we know,
Yes. Hmm.
right? And that's why this time together is so important to me, that we have this time together, because this is a time where we're going to think outside of our box. We're going to think outside of that box. And if there are beliefs that you have that hold you back,
Hmm.
I would love to know what they are.
Hmm.
I would love to know why you can't have the job you want, why you can't go back to work if you want to,
Hmm.
why you can't create more money in your life if that's what you want. Why can't you be in a better relationship with people? I would like to know what your thought process says about all of those things if
Yes.
they're what you want.
What is the story that you're telling yourself? Because it starts with a but. I would do this, but. So what's behind that but? It's really, what is behind, what comes after that but? Because
Right,
that's that limiting belief. I would exercise more, but I would, do this, but I would go back to school, but what?
right.
That
That's what we want to know.
yes.
That's what we're challenging you to do for tonight,
Hmm.
is to find something about yourself that keeps you back. And then think about why it's just not true,
Hmm.
right? I mean, whatever it is, I would be, and if sometimes my nephews, my nieces, they'll tell me that they watch us,
Hmm.
So this goes for if you have teenagers or children. Same thing. I would be better at math, but I would be better in I would be a better brother to my sister, but
Hmm.
what's the but?
Hmm. And what is that dream? So I'll do just a slight plug, because there is a John C. Maxwell book called "Put Your Dream to the Test," and actually I am doing a little study on that book with a group study, or also called a mastermind. But it it looks at what is your, first of all, what is your dream? And it takes you through a set of questions where you examine it. And because there are some things that you need to make certain you're doing. First of all, that you're talking about reality, and what is it that you want to do. Not that you're talking about a self-limiting belief, but if I say that I really envision myself as the next Pamela Anderson and I'm going to be on Baywatch, I'm not dealing in a, that's not reality. That's not happening. But but if there's something else I want to do, lay that out there, test it, make certain that you're talking about something that's real, that you're talking about something that's not someone else's dream, that's really yours. But don't get caught up. But after you test it, then you blow away that but, whatever the but happens to be. Then you blow that, you obliterate it, because you're going to develop a plan. So we'll get a chance to talk more about that. But Laura, thank you for raising this as a topic, because it's critical. It is.
Yeah.
It's a
When are
different
you starting that study, Rhea?
Monday, next Monday
When are you?
at 8 p.m.
Monday.
Yes, yes. So
So can you talk a little bit about? Are you doing it online?
yes, I'm doing it online. Certainly, if anyone happens to be interested, then just send me a note on Facebook. My name is Rhea Altamura, and I will, or send me an email message, rheaaltamura@gmail.com. It's a 1 hour study for 5 weeks. I'm very strict about the time, so it is 8 to 9 p.m. for 5 consecutive Mondays. So hoping to catch people after dinner, have someone else do the dishes, and then you sit down and talk, and let's talk about and focus on your dreams. So, and it's open to men and women. My guess is we'll have more women than men, but that's okay too. And if we have one person, or limit is 10, so that we can have the best use of our time. But if we have one person, it's going to be fabulous. If we have 10 people, it's going to be fabulous. So
They'd be
looking
very
forward to
lucky.
that. Yes.
And tell everybody the cost of this incredible program.
It is normally there is a fee, but I made the choice that based on the subject matter, I wanted to open this, make sure it's open to as many people as possible. So I am offering this for free, no cost. The only cost to participants is what they need to pay to get that book. And the recommendation is that you get the book ahead of the first session. But otherwise, there is a 100% discount. So that's a good sale, and I don't like passing up a good sale. I hope you don't either.
Yeah, no, this honestly, this is an incredible opportunity. If you have Monday nights free for an hour, this study is amazing. And to get to spend that hour with Rhea, and from the kindness of her heart, this is at least a $200
Yes.
study. I mean, there are people that charge minimum that kind of money for this. So she's giving this away right now. And if you have Monday nights free, it would be a no-brainer, really.
Yes.
I mean, as a matter of fact, I'm thinking of doing it myself.
Yes, this is my killer offer. They call it. Killer offer is
It is.
a 100% discount. So
Yeah.
yes. So
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate the opportunity
But
to share that.
It goes along with what we're talking about tonight, honestly.
Yes, it does.
People have dreams. We have dreams. We don't want to die with dreams.
No.
Okay? We want to make sure, at least for me, by the time I'm done, I am going to have tested every dream I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to leave this earth wondering, should I have done this? Should I have done that? What if I did this? And I'm not doing it.
Yes.
And fear of criticism is a big reason why people don't do anything different too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be criticized.
And
They don't.
someone else will have an opinion about, well, you know what? There will be people who will criticize you for not pursuing your dreams. Those same people are going to criticize you either way. And everyone has an opinion. The only time I quote Dr. Phil is to say what he said was, an opinion is like a butt. Everyone has one. So it's, don't, we'll talk more. We'll talk. Believe me, we'll talk about
Yeah.
opinions and about judgments and my experience on both sides of judgments and opinions. So yes,
But that fear of criticism is the number one thing that keeps people in unhappy and toxic relationships.
yes,
It's the number one things that keep people stuck in jobs they hate.
mm-hmm.
It's the one reason why they don't go out on a limb and do something they've always wanted to do. Guess what? If there's something you've always wanted to do, the time to do it was yesterday. So
Mm-hmm.
you're wasting time, right? So right now is about, like the way you put it, Rhea, is perfect. What's the but? I would do this but, because behind the but, you'll find your limiting belief.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to help you to break through these beliefs, because until we can get rid of them, it's almost impossible to create new ones.
That's right. And I do not want anyone to live with regret. I don't want you to. Les Brown, I know, talked about the graveyard being full of untested dreams, of ideas, of all of these things that people wanted to do and didn't. And I really don't want another person to leave this earth with all of these regrets. I wish I would have. If I should, I would have, could have.
Yeah.
I just don't
Yeah.
want that to happen.
And you know where most lives are changed? In hospital beds.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing that gets to me.
Mm.
If there's something that you don't like in your life, or there's something you want more of, or a habit you want to change, I really challenge you to find out what it is in your beliefs that's keeping you from doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I would do this, but right. So think about that, and let us know, because there's no reason why lives have to get changed in hospital beds.
That's right.
There's just no reason. And
Mm-hmm.
Rhea and I are so dedicated to doing this weekly that no matter where we are, I'm in Jamaica, she's in Virginia. We're both traveling, but we are going to make this half an hour every week, because that's our dedication to inspire you for growth.
Yes.
So give this half hour a week to yourself with us, and take us up on these challenges.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. And we are dedicated to this, and we've done this from. Okay, this is the first international broadcast, but we've done this from multiple states, and
Yes.
usually it's like every week. It's rare that we're both in New York and do this, but we are passionate about this. We care about every one of you, every person watching, even if you're watching the rebroadcast, the I guess I shouldn't say taped version, but the rebroadcast. I We care about you, and we want you to experience growth and live a life that is ridiculously amazing.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And if you do watch the broadcast, we had a little, issue in the beginning, because I was trying to get my camera to sign on under the hotel's Wi-Fi, and I had to end up upgrading it in order to get the camera to turn on. But so it did take us a little bit. So I apologize to that. But we did get on, and we did get our message across.
That's right. And our
Right?
message is also about persistence. So we persist in the face of technology challenges.
Yes.
So absolutely, and we persevere.
Yes. Yes, we do. And listen, we have to persevere. We have to persevere. There are going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be hills, there's going to be roller coaster rides. And part of this life is really about how we respond to all that.
Yes, it is.
And we're here for you. You could message either one of us at any time with any questions. We do take suggestions if you want us to talk about a certain topic. But anyway, I'm going to go down to the beach and watch the sunset.
All right. Well, I am going to go to the mall and get some dinner. That's what I'm going to do.
You didn't even eat yet. Look at this.
No.
All right.
It's still not too late. So that's good. That's good. Okay.
Well, thank you everybody for spending this time with us. We hope that it was worth it for you and that you're going to give this a little bit of thought, what we talked about tonight.
Absolutely. And if you're interested in joining us for that Monday, 5 consecutive Mondays, send me a message and let me know. I would be honored to have you join me.
Rhea, do you have a link to it?
I can send out something. Yes,
Did you post the link in the messages?
I can post the link. Yes, I can.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Good to see you, everybody.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye. Laura.
Have a great week. Bye, Rhea.
Bye,
Thank
Judy.
you.
Bye, Lisa.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Lisa. I will see you in 5 minutes down at the beach. Bye-bye.